na ye nsem akese nko a se wo pe nsem no kora no atie ana wo pa asem papa a wo Ashanti mem Ghana mem be bia wiase be bia atie dia hwe Ashanti Prime TV ho ne no kora no ewo me see Ashanti Prime TV so pe o tie news pa ana wo pe be bia asem a ye ka no unkobusu obi na pe no kora wo mu a hwe Ashanti Prime TV no kura no ahanko ana wo
Asante eyo mine ne sentina Ashanti Prime TV ediju media waso sonko bi ebaso ne ato ne din say Spotlight Hub any trending issue eyo me mosonfo Genial Diamond enam diju media ebasomo ejada bia ene wokuada bia 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. na jumedie shisha subutu. So ye up and coming musician, actor, actress, empo, social media influencer. Don't hear any say obefa number na e chago screen nasino. Friend, nani endin sa wasway. No be ye dache enstroma. Spotlight Hub jumedie yisudie. See release interview na se eshemu mpoa ubetu. Ashanti Prime TV. Aha, ena ne kreno. Ewo.
Ebusian for me the Queen Amadi Miss Culture Global 2025. Keep watching Ashanti Prime TV. Ashanti Prime TV there. Aha, ena no kreno.
Ashanti Prime TV. Aha, ena no kreno.
Ebusian me mawache ema wakwaba eba Ashanti Prime TV. Jumedia ya tu ni din anopa tutu so. Ebusua eye morning show Jumedia ye de brew. Aha ne ye ka Ghana nsem, ye ka amayosem, ye ka school sem, ye ka akwani ebedie ho nsem, ye ko mrahye bedwam, ye ko akwantempo ho nsem so. Ye ka yaresabia ho nsem. Aha ne ye ka Ghana ho nsem nyina. No kre wom, dia no kre nim. Baby antro ne da ye the evidence any fact ebe kama bom aya analysis ama wa obeti ase. Aha, Ashanti Prime TV. Jumedia ya tu ni diano pa tutu. Abusha me na me di Jumedia hu chia me. Ye fa me Sam ba Ike. Jebre neti anopa tutu. Abra aba no pa nonum ekosi se nondu ebebo no. Morning show sonkwa Ghana ina etie anopa tutu. Abusha for aha Ashanti Prime TV. Na wonim say ye ka se Ashanti Prime TV dia na che se aha na no kre no ewo.
Ashanti Prime TV. Aha, ena no kware ne wo.
Yedi nkomo ewo ya fiefiem. Nkwankwan ni ase. Ye dem ene empo yesukum. Sa nkomodie we ne yede ba TV so. Na ya ba bedi nkomo. Twhwe we eni direction bia. Eye nkomo na yedi. Eye asem ana ye ka. Ye ekoso ewo abrabom. Ebe kan politics kakra. Ebe kan religion kakra. Ebe kan entertainment kakra. Ene de aka nyina e wo se ye. So we are tuni, so what talent be a yebe from na yet to me any wedding komo near so at the account. Jumadi ya mi bohu de ruachewe the pod show. The pod show a social discussion. Ya babe near ya tackle societal problems, challenges, nipa ewo masitinem. Pod show is a public discussion space for social challenges. A platform that gives voices to everyone. I mean everyone, right? Na yendi ani eni din komo na sa session bi a matino din wachiku ho no eho bebusa won sama wani na so se bebusa eho ana be expose eho ana be kire se wachiku ho enti kame ho na hwe me solo base na yendi jumadi we efia da bia 5 p.m. Ashanti Prime TV. Ashanti Prime TV. Aha na nakware no wo the show me no mi no nkomodi that's
Ashanti Prime TV soon small figure in the building. So Padrimuniansa TV station will share football on a man and one Ashanti Prime TV. Watch, don't sleep, don't be quiet, go and watch. You will feel good. I love you so much. Soon small of it, Ghana of it.
Ashanti Prime TV. Aha, and I'm not carrying the wall.
Action. Action media. Audition. Yeah, audition can see me. Our Action media. Yeah, they series Kaseɛ pa obi amfa ne hunyim wo ye panyino wo ya akwada o emrantie ne maba ni nyina ye hia obi bia Action Media ye series kaseɛ ade abegu Ashanti TV so obi amfa ne hunyim boy mi gina mu bi obi amfa ne hunyim frɛ number na ye twa agu afie no me see frɛ number no thank you.
Ashanti Prime TV. Aha, and anokare ne wo.
Ashanti Prime TV enam tie ni mu no boy magi medwa ye duru ha se dia na ye nsem akese nko a se wo pe nsem no kore no atie ana wo pa asem papa a wo Ashanti mem Ghana mem be bia wiase be bia atie dia hwe Ashanti Prime TV ho ne no kore no ewo me see Ashanti Prime TV so opese o tie news pa ana wo pe be bia asem a ye ka no unko so bi na pe no kore wo mu a hwe Ashanti Prime TV no kore no ahanko ana wo.
Asante your mind. Ni senti na Ashanti Prime TV. Edi jumedie waso sonko bi eba so. Ni ato ni din say Spotlight Hub. Any trending issue. Eya me wasonfo. Genuine Diamond. Enam di jumedie eba somo. Ejada bia. Eni wokuada bia. 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Na jumedie shisha subutu. So ye up and coming musician, actor, actress, empo social media influencer. De ohia ne se obefa number na echegu o screen na se no. Friend, na ni endin sa osoi. Na be yedache enstroma. Spotlight Hub jumedie yisudie. See release interview na se ehemu mpo a obetu. Ashanti Prime TV. Aha, ena ne kre no. Ewo.
Ebusian for me the Queen Amadi Miss Culture Global 2025. Keep watching Ashanti Prime TV. Ashanti Prime TV there. Aha, and anokre and all.
Ashanti Prime TV. Aha, and anokare ne wo.
Ebusian me mawache ema wakwaba eba Ashanti Prime TV. Jumedia yatu ni din anopatutu so. Ebusian a morning show Jumedia ye de brel. Aha ne yeka Ghana nsem, yeka amayosem, yeka school sem, yeka akwani ebedie ho nsem, yeka mrahye bedwam, yeka akwantempo ho nsem so, yeka yaresabia ho nsem. Aha ne yeka Ghana ho nsem nyina. No kre wom, dia no kre nim, bebi antro ne da ye the evidence any fact ebe kama bom aya analysis ama wa obeti ase. Aha Ashanti Prime TV. Jumedia yatu ni din anopatutu. Ebushwan me na me di Jumedia ho chia me. Ye fa me Sam ba Ike. Jebre neti anopatutu abra no pa nonum ekosi se nondu ebebo no morning show sonko Ghana ina etie anopatutu abushan for aha Ashanti Prime TV na wonim say ye ka say Ashanti Prime TV dia na che say aha na no.
Premotobre manade sheme mo bibiara hanmo makwaba Kaseɛbɔ ba Ashanti Prime TV so emran so sense ma mensa aka mo my Ghana eni amahodo so ni edika editi osemufo so no so no akuti edi agu krata so edi amame no mede ba besom mo se Prime mewia Premotobre Kaseɛ ensem awia mede ba besom mo no edoso ye ni edi makoti ni bi enue eye Professor Kwabi Mensa edinsem bi ato abonti ni sanso no munyamfo eye Hamza eye Suhin akasa ensem we ne ensem awdo pie kan am de ba besom mo e wosimadu asantem me amaje pene de kase beso medin amaje so ene mes nafsat Afeje bray na memfa kase ni ntwemu ensomo eye NDC communicator eye onumonyamfo eye Hamza Suhun ne wakasa de ato abonten se na wotuetwa mu na wieye eye primary so mo de hyehyɛ so wa ye waso east abato mpeso so ekoba ye se eye Baba Jamal acheche niema no e kamia ye se ye amanyoku ahoduo binu mu aka pese wonjine no so emfa nkasa se eyede a NDC amanyuku no se bi wo mososo eye corruption eso ozesre se nye sa eneti na mpanifo emra asam ne beto abonten na mpanifo hwe etu hu anamo no.
I think that I also need that time to emphasize the importance of the allegations of vote buying, not just within the politics of the NDC, but to the nation as a whole.
True.
And the need for us to not to approach it with mischief-laced commentary, but rather seek advantage of that opportunity, not just to score political points, but to emphasize that as responsible political actors, the time has come for us to rally around the flag in an effort to nip that unfortunate canker in the bud. I listened to my brother. And quite clearly, on one breath, the NDC did pentinamento. On another breath, they even have no jurisdiction or legal authority to even have proceeded to annul the results. So what at all does he want? And that is why, if he had taken the nationalistic viewpoint, we would have been making meaningful progress, regardless of our partisan affiliations. And for me, I think that that is the crux of this matter. Why? When the allegations were made, the National Democratic Congress first and foremost proceeded to issue a statement. And it's important for you to read that statement. They said that they had taken notice of the allegations of vote buying in the area also East elections. And that as a political party, they condemn such occurrence if indeed there's something to that effect. And they have proceeded to set up a 3-member committee to look into the matter. Was that not a statement?
Indeed, that was.
At no point did that initial statement coming from party signal an annulment of the elections on that day. Because the party itself appreciated.
Adeshimanyimba ye to akase no so ye Professor Kobi Mensah ni wakasa e de ato abontene se eye Ghana eye Accra International Airport na se Kotoka International Airport no si ebedru eho no ma e wo se so obi free ne man so e be Ghana ha se ntia wo se omode niema hodo bebre kire se ampa oman Ghana e na wuwura mu no niema bebre be daadi ama e de adanse se Ghana ono waba ne bi esisi airport wo se de be ya obi free ne man so dru ha se anu ohu se Ghana ene wadru no.
Two connectivities, air connectivity, but of course internet connectivity as well. Now, what is the most dominant thing that the tourists do when they arrive at the country? They take photos, they post it, etc. My time when we were growing up, you have to actually write a postcard. How many of you know postcard? You have to write a postcard and send to your people, your parents, and say, I have arrived safely. Sometimes you go back to your country and the postcard is not there because it's a snail mail, isn't it? Today, certainly they can take a photo at the airport, send, post, and immediately the family know or the friends know that they have arrived. It has increased the internet connectivity, etc., has actually increased our standard in terms of safety and security, in terms of people's confidence in the country. And so if the airport company gives you a free Wi-Fi, which you all do, it means that when you get it, you can actually take a photo and send. Clearly, it has actually improved our standard in terms of people's confidence in that. But what I want to see is a lot more presence of Ghana at the airport. We have to have whether Akwaaba or Obake or very big. So that when they take the selfies, we can activate Ghana. Our presence in terms of the Ghanaian cultural representation or tourism representation at the airport is very minimal. So maybe Yvonne, I will ask you if we can do a lot more broader.
Mashibe Jenny Edemon kan Queen North Abaton Pesua so Honorable Theresa Ladi Awini ene wakasa ede ato abontene say ade anaba to empesua so ade hye no muhia ne ma bebre na nyankopon so aya adoma wabra His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Airso na sinema ne ma muhia nyina wo ye Edemon modern semu etu abontene ebra wo hwe MO2 boho de mo na afen so ye street light ahodo e wo ho asai no wama eye electrician e di ho djuma.
Me say now me no say me say omombe market pavements omombe paving markets me mame and say na me behwe say ejuma no omudi akodu sen ana egusu ana e ba yen so mo say omoni abredin den a omugusu ye ejuma me ba yen so omo sign the nsuo asemetu menimu say member na member ye nsuo we mo mo ya member mechanize nsuo ni ma omo nsuo de wutu na wa nsuo amfi asase na nya nsuo no watu until you need to mechanize and ensure say water is flowing for them you know me de ejumayefo aba emo ho so o ma be ye ho ejuma until aka finishing kakra bi e me say nipa ne be ye wo ho no echi a omo light nyina na issues wo ho until ne mabetna electrician ne so onye ejuma no on share light ni na omo hwe so ye mame na titro ni nsuo no wo say eye free water eno nti no metape me connect omo light na fi mains ne so na many electricity for be kasa because omo ton nsuo no pe na chese wo say omo meter na boso me bia omo tua eye ka mesra wo mo say ye ye momo akasa nti no omo hwe so
Mashabedwani Edemata no North Abaton Pesua so Dr. Gideon Boakon ene wakasa ede ato abontine sese ye hwese de akuafo eboka no to nuro digu ono ba yeso na ni nyina ebewi ase no de niema no ebedwa so a na ne to no akwa ha adwene na ese no besre senka ban no enya eye processing factories ahudo bebre o man Ghana mu ase ebeboa ama okuani ne ne ntos na se wokote ya ode kohon mu be processing no no mu de aye niema bebre de ama man Ghana adehye.
The farmers are worse off because people are not buying the foods that they have produced. They use money, they bought weedicides, they hired laborers, they bought all kinds of fertilizers to go into production. They have produced. People are not buying. The minister and the government should be concerned about the plight of that poor farmer who has defied all odds, all adversities to go into farming and has produced and people are not buying. How is the government addressing that problem? Because look, you go to work every month, you expect to receive your salary. If the salary does not come, it imposes a huge economic burden on you because you are unable to realize the income from your work, the salary, to pay your children's school fees, to pay your light bill, to buy food for the house, and take care of all other social issues. The farmer does not have a monthly salary. The farmer does not have a stipend. What the farmer has is the food that he or she has produced. And that food must be purchased for him to get income. The income the farmer realizes from all his work and labor is the demand. It's coming from the demand from the food that the farmer has produced. Doctors are taking their salaries, MPs are taking their salaries, presidential staffers are taking their salaries. The farmer also ought to earn income from what he has put into production. What we want the minister to do is to quickly think around the clock, the whole government, and come up with measures that we can use to stimulate export. Because look, the farmers have produced. People are not buying. Who becomes worse off? It is the farmers. Today, if you move across the country, the farmers are complaining that we have had higher production. People are not buying. And mind you,
in 2 or 3 months, we are going to go into the major crop season, whereby farmers are going to produce more. If what was produced last year is not bought and it's on the market, and we go into the major crop season and we produce more to add on to that, we are going to have a hyper glut on the market, and that is going to affect the farmers. So the consumption part is not the problem, but the export part is the problem, and that is why the minister must focus on to ensure that the excess food that we have on the market are exported outside the country, or they are turned into some finished products that can be kept for longer periods.
His response to have the buffer stock, procure some of these food items and also establish the farmers market, isn't that adequate enough to deal with the situation at hand?
So you see, one, how much can the buffer stock, stock? How much? Look at the excess food on the market and ask yourself whether or not the buffer stock has the capacity to contain all of that. Look, we will be shooting ourselves in the foot if we think that all the food that is on the market must be.
Tachimentia krewa hafumante mene okopiem ewo honoma eye akyerɛkyerɛfo ɛna afin so kra de hye ewo honoma kasa ha nyina ne se school ana se classroom se ewo honom no akyerɛkyerɛfo akyerɛ ade awie o mapon akofie kwaji o mahome no afin so na se bi enua no mo hye ntampe no so di school ni ba be ye o mo de ani obekɔ no na se bi o meje o mo nan ade agu classroom hono me bi wo kra mo san de akyerɛkyerɛ board no so a awerɛhosɛm san so ahomete sempa enti nsɛm no wakasa ade ato abonte ne se wo hwen so ade mpanimfoɔ aba besi toilet ni bi okrom ho de ama ade hye ne nso esan so osusu safety at 2020 ebesi nei contractor na ɛda aban no na afin so nipa wo toilet no enti mo nyenhwe enwie ne kan enti nya ade mpanimfoɔ ehu so wo mebie toilet ne mfama ade hye wo ho no ma na sɛ ma wo mbie
ma hu sɛ ha dan yesu dan kama pa ba hafu school so na ben hai o hafu amotutu bola ene ne mawugu anti esla sa aban ba behwe ne yadodo ha sei asiesi ha ma ye kama abaye toilet ya ma ye ne ya kra yesu adwuma ha ne ye pe ba bia ye hu ya etimia ba ba ye hu ye
ba bia school wi eye enkra enso so nam se ha no toilet no ye mama ko mene so nti school ha nyina ehwa no mba toilet edru anwumra ye torch ya di no mo ne de akiri ha no na so nti nkura no ba school se ya no mo aprapra ne na sefo no ha nti bibia no ema ya disua no ye betra dia edile ansa na yetimi akira dia
empata mu nyina sa toilet bia ni around enti ha ya na obia ba mo ba we no mo mie ye enti o mo nenne wo classroom dan na ho da bi wo hokora wo ba bie pono no na ya difficult agu nkra na duwa dex masepa nya asem ketwa o mo timi ko toilet no kra na ya de nkra na book no atimi apepa ya chokora na ya sande ya hyeho
enti toilet we no komo wie o fa hye ye do be bie ye na menim de tia if 2020 we pay some 20 no so is and say o mo say e be kan say bia me Robert ana say company no mo ye adwuma no em say aban no mo hye no agency internet is wo e ma manfo e wo kire wo mu wo ba ntem here cholera o hospital is here report was say bonrofo cholera na eku bonrofo bebre na ana say edi enya eti ade bia be sre aban a o ti say se no yensa yem so omoye naturally no one company ni kasa no mabie na amanfonya so enkomaye
na ade ba ko a ewo ne say authority a omoye wi na enye assembly no and sponsor yen say enye it wasn't through the assembly eye common fund eye institutions a eye say Ghana Gas amu any other institutions and ababe yesa eye toilet na edemaye no mbe edemaye no nam say anfo eye assembly nsam no they should try and get all the contractors project no sebeya yebitino mudi ensawoso nehu
eya na eha adwin ye se Ghana de hie binum de o ma de so de beto aban nanim na aban no be ya mumu wie na sebise ba mo san pese o mo kire sa de kro ne kra na nka o mo hia ye kopie mu e wo tetegu e we nkan pumpuni mante ma ya de ade hye wo ho esu ya so ka kwanhye ya adoso e wo ho me ne ka ebo ad enipa de echi ande esebia na ka ebo ni penti o mbesre nka o mo hia e footbridge na nso mpanimfo de kato ka so ye footbridge wie ya amanfo hwe footbridge no san no metwam no masan betwa akwan no 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 akwanhia no koso a ene koso ene wo makasa edidi enti o musisi agina ye no ato abonti
dem fatobo timbere se mi fa soro we na me de ma she ndi anka ban be bibi na ka wa ye wo fan se cross road bi wa ha ma ya ka be boa ye ko se ma mi fo no mo ko edwamu ba e ya mo tumi e dem fa tobo e on be so mo fa ni se ntanka ban be boa no wa hwe bibi ya ma ya na ka wa ye cross road bi wa ma nka so be boa ye
ano pe de na me pentam ntia da bia ye fa ba do ano pe de na pentam na me fa ho no e ni se nya nse aye mfoso mi no na ba de tia de me ka so bia fa ba no so no pe asam ka chwo
enti no me overhead yi by aja overhead near cross kwan no ana tete kuja sha last 3 weeks e bo ma mi bi wa ma mi no e pepe ni na me stop rent ma me sam be fa ha bio ave o sa didi mi anka sa alaji atem say ada tell me just member fa overhead ti o andrew coming week ana e bo ba kuku no enti e hwe a eno ase e be ga my police too Jenny Abesia.
Yes, you are there. A cat me bomb into and a sign into a police for no car bomb will be no back because so much as a young fat overhead. Small now, so now, or be glad to meet you. May I canoe dear Temuna. Shanet or me a cry or Martin, Chinchinage or some bitchum. To know, car dear bomb will be a few. Maybe I miss you. Honor, make my money. I just quite a dream. But baby overhead no e wono emutwi emami na sa ebia me manager minutes ametumi e dey ahwe kwan no ahwe mu no e be ma me call them dan say me kwa go overhead no e no tina me fra ho mu no as na overhead ni ho mu no na ye ndi na ahwe mu sa ahwe mu and it's na ahwe mu first no ye ma
e be ko so den sem na gina mu e wo nkran pumpuni mantemu e ya ahwama e ho na akopie mu e wo ho no ma ye ma me mo edwedifo wo ho no mani wo nso akasa e de ato abontene se ndrada na ye akra meyo eyo nmunyamfo Michael Alote kasa e de to abontene se wo hwe eye se de wona na eton niema e wo kwan ho a aban na si gina ye so ba be ye market kese e de amomo na na edwedifo akasa e de ato abontene se wo hwe se gina ye na aban esi na wo nsusu se ebeboa because wo hwe eye ni padodo a e wo kwan ho eton ade na eya asase ana se bia ya aban no eba besi eye market na won susu se ana so hunu se nyade e beso ade hia woton ne ma e wo kwan ho no
700 something e na ewo mu no nipa dodo a ewo ichenchen eni lo le kwan ho wo mo nya bebia antra no e do so 6700 something na o mu kan it is sia no yes so my penny say odi ni bedwafo mu nhwe no pata na won besi no enye more than that because the badodo e tan lo le kwan mu ade chi a ashmafo e pam mu wo lo le kwan ho mu so mu bedidi so mu si ya no sa time no na ni badodo endorse sa but si ya bedosu more than shares na e wo inside no it yes say wo mu nhwe na sa kan be ye a wo mu si apata no more than that
this you know why no who to say sabio ya ye wo dwom de sabio ye nya nipa ana on fa bo bia ma ye bisa do ono pasa oye no ana pasa oye na no so ya mwa ye when ye dey try your school fees ye try school fees mbon kwada na boko na be sa pam ye ne ko 3 good years to 5 years ansana ya sa be dwom na mwa ye
mama ye slow this you know ye say the okanu ye mpreso na mo oni ye nyadwen kire say market no apatado so see stores say obesi stores a yemu ye ton kobi mi ton momoni mi ton tos me store mi de beda ton mi panichon yes this no say oba be boy and dia on boy and yes you mbo no na on boy and dia mama ye pa cho unifi sumayen
enye stores adibia baby ayepe ensu onu de we de ya de nu ye mpe
ni ye ka chemba ni say nkomo na ayedi e wodem no esu mfaso edoso ensi ye be sha atade kokko na ya gina kwan ho na ya yedede enti yesre omo njai kɔkɔɔ no na yɛntena dɛm na yɛn planning sɛdeɛ yɛbɛnya 24-hour economy market.
Treasurefo panyin edema NDC amanyukuo no eyon munyamfo fifi fiavi kwete ene wakasa ede ato abontene se ebra mo de ayawaso east primaries ne hyehyɛ so akire no eyade mpanimfo ekan se ode nhwehwemu egu akwam no wahye se ye no kra se ye vote by na amanfo ekan na nokwa se ekɔso wɔ hɔ no mane ne wakasa ede ato abontene se ode wo nhwehwemu eba na wiye ne yade a woni eye option bia dan so obeje eye baba Jamal atum se yade wadi enkunim.
Let me just say that the long and short of the report was this, that inappropriate conduct was exhibited by virtually almost all the candidates, even though you cannot establish, because the candidates were clear that what they did was in light of motivating of a delegate. We believe that was inappropriate. So in the light of that, the committee's report was to the effect that ideally we should have an annulment of the primaries. However, the committee also acknowledged that there are real obstacles that make it difficult for us to do that. One, the party's constitution does not have a provision for an annulment of election. Two, we are time bound because we need to be presenting a candidate by tomorrow to the Electoral Commission. So given these difficulties, and also there are legal challenges that could be mounted by whoever won, and the party clearly will not be able to go through any of that process without presenting a candidate very quickly. So in the light of that, the party effectively has taken the recommendation, which is that we, given the time and also the legal challenges, we have no option but to present Baba Jamal, who actually won according to
Semeto ansam no so dia na obi anka me hona mintu fa emfemani nche eya mahodo so ensem nyina yenim se basabasa ye asi ewo DR Congo emenra dakra na Angola mampanyini esuma asrafo so wonhwe no wonkɔhwe omma eyekɔ pepepe yo enkoso ewo honom ne United Nations eternity friend say UN akasa edi ato abontene so mu behia eye mpanimfo beti won ho asi honom no akɔ eye Congo sede ebe ya eye UN fo embetumi din informations ama eye UN mpanimfo no ahwe eye ekon ya opese wo hwe no obrase no fa akɔ akoju
all the actors on the ground that there's no risk, that we don't, and of course we won't, send our helicopters flying with our personnel when there are risks of jamming, as has happened, risks of drones in the immediate vicinity of our helicopters, and so on. The Congolese army's been fighting armed groups in the east of the country for decades, but there was a major escalation in the conflict early last year when the Rwanda-backed M23 rebels captured Goma. Kinshasa and Kigali signed a US brokered deal in December, but that has not stopped the fighting. We are not yet, and in fact far from it, in a situation where there's an effective ceasefire in the east. But in Uvira, the M23 has pulled back from the city, even though it remains nearby. And the Congolese authorities, the Congolese state, are in the process of redeploying their presence.
Yentu obi manso nsem so ewo Zimbabwe no kopium ewo ho amrani mufu ewo ho no makasa ede ato abonten sesese no eyade awagye atum se eye Zimbabwe mampanyin eye onmunyamfo eye Imasen eye Namgagwe omagye atum se eye wontena egwaso wombu Zimbabwe minus enkosi eye afi 2030.
Changes go further. Under the draft bill, the president would no longer be elected by popular vote, but instead chosen by Parliament. Justice Minister says the bill will now be published and sent to Parliament for debate. Mnangagwa, who is 83, is currently expected to step down in 2028 after completing 2 terms. His possible extension has already fueled a succession battle within the ruling ZANU-PF party. He came to power after a military coup in 2017 that ousted longtime leader Robert Mugabe, and opposition figures are condemning what they see as an attempt to entrench power.
Onimonyamfo eye Jimmy Benson campaign for more APC amanyuku no ehubinene wakasa ede ato abontene sese wotena Nigeria manu na odi wani to form din a panyina obetumi aboama Nigeria manu tumpon aban ana so man panyina ote so onimonyamfo Ahmed Bola Tinubu nti afia e ba besim 2027 ama panyina abato omode be hihye so Nigeria no besre so obia ento enfama APC amanyuku otu di ama APC amanyuku no so dia na chese onimonyamfo Ahmed Bola Tinubu na woto ede ama no.
One more time, APC. I'd like to say a big thank you to the very good people of Ikorodu Federal Constituency. I'd like to say thank you to my leaders, former Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Prince Biodun Ogunleye. I'd like to say thank you to Ashiwaju Olorunfunmi Bashorun. I'd like to say thank you to Senator, former Minister, former gubernatorial candidate, Sheye Ogunlewe. I'd like to say thank you to all the leaders present here. I'd like to say thank you to Kwamwan, who has registered as an APC member of Ikorodu Federal Constituency. I'd like us to also listen. Kwamwan, yes, please help us play that song for Ashiwaju Omolodo there. For Ashiwaju. Akonbi Omolodo there.
Honorable Benson, Kakoko Visinu Adua.
Kaseɛbɔ benye bi ahwɛwa abɛfo ntintafidie so Facebook Ashanti Prime TV, YouTube Ashanti Prime TV na TikTok nso Ashanti Prime TV ohwa no wapia so de ama onua no no nso ahwɛ bi wa like no comment asan so de ama me ensema me de beso mawia yi se kaseɛ na edoso yie yedi makotini bi enie dwadifo ma omo Ashaman market ene omo de omo de hwede ato abanim san so ene addition omo attachment ya ewa hafomantemu enso kasaye ensem we ne ensem audio pie kan am de beso mo se Prime Premotobre kaseɛ me on beken kan kaseɛ ma media mejeso ene miss Snapchat makra obia.
Ashanti Prime TV.